Hello, this is an interesting one. It would appear, ladies and gents, that Jon Favreau, Disney, Lucasfilm, there's a fracture going on. Fracture of the mind's eye. Was it a splinter of the mind's eye? Who knows? Anyway, it would seem that there are opposing Star Wars themes. I don't know the ins and outs of it. It's all rumour at this point in time. But with Disney and these things, it is fascinating to explore. So let's dive into this, shall we? This article is linked down below. I just thought we'd take a look at it, really. So it's all to do with the Luke Skywalker Mandalorian situation and just generally the Mandalorian. Apparently, Star Wars The High Republic team are furious because of the Mandalorian success. Now, I did a live stream, which I do Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 9 PM GMT, 4 PM Eastern Seaboard time. I don't know what it is, Eastern Standard Time, whatever it is. Anyway, and I did this live stream and I was discussing it with a panel of people, and I said, like, it's interesting, isn't it? Star Wars High Republic was painted as this massive thing, huge in fact, a brand new initiative, going to turn things around, really going to get people, yes, loving it. And then they've just released it in January and February, right? Which is a time, statistically and historically, for movies, at the very least, to go and die. It was the dumping ground. Because it's just after a high of Christmas, people's spirits are all up, and then they kind of slump a little bit into the new year. There was nothing else really around. It was just a dumping ground for crap. And I think that's kind of what they've done here with the High Republic. I think it's a dumping ground. I think they need to dump it because it's garbage. So yeah, I thought we'd just take a look at it. I can believe that there's some truth to things like this. Like, let's put it this way. As a business, what one are you going to go and push down, right? What narrative, sort of alleyway are you going to go down? You've got Jon Favreau, great success with The Mandalorian, and on the other hand, you've got garbage, The High Republic. Proven track record, probably potential profits, garbage. Yeah, we'll go down the one which potentially proves profitable. Obviously, it's Disney, so that's... yeah, we don't know. A new rumour claims that the Lucasfilm Story Group that was involved in the newly launched Star Wars The High Republic publishing initiative are unhappy with Jon Favreau, The Mandalorian, and Luke Skywalker. Now, this new rumour comes after the publishing initiative featured fundamental mistakes about Star Wars in the first issue of the High Republic comic book series, which is just... it's quite egregious, isn't it, really? Like, how can you make those mistakes? It's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Now, the first issue saw a Jedi stop their fall using a lightsaber wedged into a spire. The lightsaber would continue cutting through the spire, as it's not made of a material like Mandalorian Beskar steel that can resist the lightsaber. That's obvious. I know that. I thought it could cut through everything until I learned of Beskar steel. So making the mistake even more glaring is just a couple of pages before it, they do indeed show a lightsaber splitting an entire tree in half. So there you go, tree in half, and goes down, yeah, okay, and then it just sort of stuck there. Right, okay. So not only did the issue feature the significant error involving a lightsaber, but it also features a one-armed Trandoshan. Despite Trandoshans having the ability to regenerate their limbs. In the canon Star Wars Scum and Villainy book, Imperial Security Bureau agent Andressa Devo explains, Trandoshans are a hardy lot. The preserved jar holds a torn arm from a Trandoshan male, ripped off cleanly by an enraged Wookiee. Analysis with shred skin samples from Bosk's domicile confirmed a match. He's since regenerated the arm. It looks like the old lizard can take more than a punch and return to the fight. So there you go. Kind of confirmed, right? Now, this new rumour is from WD Pro at Pirates and Princesses, claims that Lucasfilm Story Group believes that the reveal of Luke Skywalker in the finale of The Mandalorian Secret season took all the oxygen out of the High Republic, which is kind of alluding to what I've already said, is I think it's just a dumping ground. I think that's all they're doing here. Big old dumping ground. Apparently they are actually furious as they were not told that Luke Skywalker would show up in The Mandalorian. And they go on to say, worse, I'm told they're furious because they weren't informed about Luke Skywalker being the season send-off surprise, which apparently no one wasn't in the script. No one knew at all. So the scooper goes on to claim this fury is why individuals like Pablo Hidalgo decided to go after the fanbase following Luke's reveal. He then makes the bold statement that the Lucasfilm Story Group feels the Luke Skywalker reveal was a betrayal of Kathleen Kennedy because they and Kennedy are not getting credit for anything. Well, they wouldn't, would they? Because they're plebs. Let's be honest. So WD Pro then believes that Hidalgo and other Lucasfilm employees going after fans for emotionally reacting to Luke Skywalker's return created a full-blown public display of the two visions at Lucasfilm, which maybe, I mean, we all know that Jon Favreau, at least publicly, appears to care about fans. So yeah, I mean, just on that basis, you could probably indicate that that's what it's showing, but who knows? The scooper previously detailed that there was a civil war brewing inside Lucasfilm over control of Star Wars, and he claimed that battle was raging between Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau factions. Now, it is interesting because Jon Favreau, in the interview with like Good Morning America or whatever it was like, oh, you know, I asked Kathleen Kennedy just to not tell anyone and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so you have the power to ask, you know, to ask, not to tell anyone. I mean, that's pretty big power. Do you know what I mean? To be able to just walk in and go, no, please don't do that. Thanks, cheers. Like, that's quite massive. So it does seem to indicate that there are some privileges that Jon Favreau has, very much so. You know, being able to write in Luke Skywalker and no one know about it. It wasn't there in the script. You know, they turn up with Mark Hamill there on set. Like, that's quite big. That's not small. Now, with the Kennedy faction involved in Star Wars Resistance, Star Wars Forces of Destiny, Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures, Solo, and sequel trilogy, Favreau's faction at the time appeared to be only working on The Mandalorian, but given the announcements at the Disney Investor Day 2020 presentation, it's expanded to Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, and the Book of Boba Fett. So he's expanding outwards quite extensively. Now, this public display of the alleged civil war from people like Hidalgo has allegedly sparked meeting and discussions about how to manage the public relations situation, which they should have done anyway. If that isn't the case, what are you doing? The High Republic people reportedly want Filoni and Favreau to speak in a complimentary fashion about the High Republic. Now, that would be interesting to see if they do, to be fair. Because Favreau is a fan of Star Wars. So it'll be interesting to see if he's read it and if he does make any comments on it. However, it appears that Disney executives are behind Favreau's vision, as they have put money behind The Mandalorian and its spin-off shows. WD Pro claims, my sources say that Bob Iger is fully behind Jon Favreau. You would, just from a business sense anyway, but again, it's Disney, take it with a pinch of salt. They don't act like normal business, because they're whatever. He concludes this scoop stating that keeping Luke Skywalker a secret from almost everyone at Lucasfilm has sent a message loud and clear: Favreau is in charge of The Mandalorian and every spin-off series and film that comes from it. And Favreau is in charge of the only Star Wars fans seem to care about. There are no consultations with Lucasfilm needed in the future. He and Filoni are in the driver's seat, he added, which I can't believe. Like, I genuinely can. Now, while WD Pro claims that Favreau and Filoni are in the driver's seat when it comes to The Mandalorian, Kathleen Kennedy is still the president of Lucasfilm, and an excerpt from The Art of Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 1, shared to social media by Twitter user Stephen Wayne Art, makes it clear that Kennedy was the one who put Favreau and Filoni together to create The Mandalorian. But that could easily just be a mandate from her to say, well, write it down, please, thanks. It reads, on September 25th, Jon Favreau replied to Kennedy's email gauging his interest in a live-action TV series expressing interest in Mandalorians, a subject Filoni also wished to explore further. Favreau and Filoni, sharing a mutual history in Mandalorians from their time on Clone Wars, were reunited by Kennedy to collaborate on the subject in November 14 meeting at the Kennedy Marshall Company, culminating in the creation of pitch art that same month. And that's the other thing. That might be the case, right? She may have put this together, and then he may have said, but I do want creative control. And then from there, because it's been such a success, he then went to Bob Iger or Bob Chapek and was like, give me a little bit more now, please. Cheers, thanks. There's no reason why not. He's got leverage at that point. So there you go. Like, what do you think, guys, at the end of the day? What do you think about this? Two factions. The segmentation of Disney. The war. The war of the Republic. Right, anyway, whatever. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you're new here, do hit subscribe. Thank you so much. Take care.